Copenhagen. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day.
It was a beautiful day in Copenhagen, as long as you could avoid the pedestrians and the bicyclists. The city was bustling, the architecture is really nice, a nice mix of old and new, and we went through the train station, which is pretty cool as well. Our main transportation was by bus.
Denmark, of course, part of the Scandinavian region here. Scandinavia is 3 countries, Norway, Sweden and Denmark. Finland is not part of Scandinavia, that's part of the Nordic regions here. We have a population of 5.5 million, and in Copenhagen we have 1.5 million. You've noticed, for those of you that have been here before, you know there's a lot of bicycles, eh? So with 1.5 million people, we have 1.7 million bicycles. Yeah. And the cyclists here seem to think that they have the right of way, so you have to be very careful. Now on this trip we won't have any problems because we're going north, but otherwise you have to be very careful here.
Our destination in the north, the place they call Hamlet's Castle. We've arrived at Hamlet's Castle, and as we look around for different rooms, I just have one question. Which room is it? 2B or not 2B? Sorry, I had to make that dumb joke.
This is William Shakespeare. But did he write it?
Yes.
He did actually, in English, but it was written 1,000 years before that in Latin. Shakespeare, we call it Hamlet. Shakespeare takes the H and puts it at the front and calls it Hamlet. Shakespeare has never been here. But this was, as I told you on the bus, the 2nd largest city in Denmark. There was entertainment for all these sailors, and they were from the Royal Shakespeare or the London Theatre at that time. So we believe that these actors, when they went back to London, told Shakespeare of the castle here, because in the play he does describe this castle very well. But he has never been here. But then he's never been to Verona. He's never, you know, Romeo and Juliet and things like that. He's never been there either. So, but the story is from the time before the Vikings, and it tells of the prince that is called Hamlet. Right. So we're going to go upstairs.
Now it's time for the dungeon, but not me. I don't like tight, dark places, so I'm going to leave this one to Sherry and Christopher. What was it like?
Oh, it was nothing. Oh. It was dark and cold, otherwise, and smelled like oil lamp.
So how would I have done it?
Fine.
Watch your heads here. They weren't that tall at that time. Step back, please. Yep. Whoa. Watch your head.
When the oil burned out?
Yeah, can you smell the oil?
Yes.
Yeah. oil lamps.
It's right in my
Yeah. Okay, everybody. She has a sense of humor. Okay, I'd like you to all come in here because I want to show you what the prison really looks like.
Is this a prison?
Yes. But this is, it was worse than this. Okay, go back. Yeah. Okay, you look down there. Okay, now the way that this worked was, if you were one of the real bad prisoners here, what they would do is stand you up here, stand you up in the corner, and they put the gates right up to you. So you had to stand. You couldn't sit down. Okay, so you had to stand there, and most of the people that were here, of course, died. Yeah, and as I say, it would have been below zero here, and the only thing they had was bread and water. So they didn't last very long down here. I think I would have chosen to pop in the water outside. Yeah, so no, it was very tough. But that's the way we used to treat our prisoners.
Were these mainly like enemies of the state
Yes,
type criminals?
yes, there would be political criminals.
Okay.
If it was a thief, then we'd probably cut their hand off.
Our trip back to the ship was by the coastal route.
So for 400 years, the southern part of Sweden used to be Danish. And you also have an island just out here, which now is Swedish. It's quite interesting because the island there has about 200 people living on it, and they produce whiskey. Whiskey. Have you never heard of Swedish whiskey? No, never. I don't even know what the label is. You know of Absolute Vodka. That's Swedish. Okay, we're going to follow the coastline down here on our way back to Copenhagen.